The average person believes that Gen Z's downfall is due to TikTok or short-form scrolling. But these people fail to understand the cause is far deeper than what most people can grasp. Ever since 2020, teens, specifically Gen Z and Gen Alpha, have been having a major issue with focus. It seems they can't spend even 9 seconds on anything but the screen. And no, it's not because of TikTok, Reels, or YouTube Shorts. They're just the wind that pushes the fire even further and makes it spread. Everyone blames it on the phone or social media. But when social media can be taken advantage of, a regular person can manifest into a demigod. Well, if social media isn't causing it, then what is? To understand that, we need to look into the lives of the average person. Well, it's wake up, rush to school or work, have a continuous 8 hours of stress, come back home, take classes, have even more stress by worrying about family, property, finance, and health, spend the rest of your time scrolling, and finally go to sleep. Well, what's wrong with this life? It's boring, it's stressful. There's no excitement or dopamine. Occasionally, they get good marks, their parents get proud, or they have a 2% more likely chance to get an upgrade on their job. That's the only excitement they have going on. This life is boring. Let me tell you something about the human brain. Boredom lowers dopamine, which is tied to motivation and pleasure. The thing about people's brain is that it's lazy. People are lazy. They want everything quick and they want big rewards. And scrolling provides that. All you have to do is tap, swipe, tap again, done. You're getting quick dopamine constantly. And the lizard brain gets even more of a habit of it. The more a person will scroll, the more they'll get immersed into it, and the less a person's attention span will be. The lizard brain expects everything else to be quick, easy, and very rewarding. Exactly why this generation isn't as motivated. The majority of this generation lacks ambition, or they have ambition, but they're not ready to push themselves to work for it. Because 1, achieving real life goals, going ahead in your career, going ahead in pursuing your passion, your dreams, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort. Since the lizard brain has been trained to constantly have things easy, extremely rewarding, and quick, everything will slowly be too much work. Tasks that require deep thinking, tasks that require a lot of time or effort to pursue, will be something a person will avoid. And seeing others' perfect lives on their phone will make them feel even worse about themselves. They'll go with, I can't be like that, I'm never good enough. It's just not meant for me when they haven't even tried. Watch anyone who's addicted to scrolling. You'll see that they can't stand boredom at all. It's like alcohol. One sip, crave another. Scroll, feel good about themselves, and it turns into an addiction. It turns into a cycle. They watch YouTube Shorts, Reels, or TikTok because they have a boring life. And by watching it, they're making their life even worse and more boring. The loop keeps repeating. Well, here comes the main question. How did people's life become so stressful and boring? Well, to answer this question, people need to realize that this isn't a life, it's a system. And this system was created like people similar to Bill Gates, similar to huge companies or money-hungry foundations. If someone broke from the system, there would be more competition for huge companies. If there was a person ambitious enough to rule over Amazon or to make a better version of the iPhone, someone who had enough willpower and enough intelligence to compete with SpaceX or NASA, then there would be more competition. It's far harder to persuade or make someone believe something or manipulate someone when they think critically and question everything they see. So this won't happen. To keep people a slave, to keep people into obeying, a certain system was created. A certain pattern of beliefs were created. One that clutters their schedule so much that people can't think of anything else. One that stresses people out so much that they lose track of time, they lose track of their brain, they can't do anything. Which pushes them into something even worse, which is scrolling on social media. Everyone knows that social media, that scrolling, is terrible, and it's the push that leads them off the cliff. But nobody knows the cause. Only a few chosen ones do. And these certain people will be the ones to break free from the system, to gain control of their life, to live with a free, open mind. And while everyone else is being a puppet to the strings of the elite, these certain people will cut those strings. They will have an actual enjoyable life. It won't just be struggle in school, struggle college, struggle in job, and eventually die. These people will live freely. They'll live a life that they want. There's no teacher controlling you, telling you what to do, and telling you that you're wrong. There's no boss that rules over your head. There is no one that brings you down. And something that's worse is that this system keeps being passed down through generations to generations by parents. Parents, millennials, are just as frustrated with their current life. And without knowing the cause, they push their children into the same system, which is harming them. And filling the heads of each individual with money will only corrupt you. Be a good person. Job is the only way. Don't aim big. Be realistic. And in reality, it's the only way that people can set themselves free. It's as if a devil was whispering lies into their heads, and they believed it. They believe that money isn't important, and it's what can help someone afford healthy food, a good lifestyle. And they pushed people into believing that job is the only way to survive. I've seen countless of individuals saying that business doesn't work, saying that their only option is to settle for a small job and not aim high, when that's not the case. Well, if this system has been here for so long, why is only Gen Z and Gen Alpha being affected? Well, the answer is simple. First of all, even millennials or people of the past generation are getting affected. I'm pretty sure you know that one person maybe in your family, maybe just around your town, someone old, probably in their 40s or older, addicted to scrolling just as much as a teen is. It's just that this newer generation, it's more easily accessible. They know more about it. Many millennials don't even know anything about the internet. Well, Gen Z was raised around it. It's easily accessible. So, of course, if someone gives you a golden apple, which grants you superpowers, while someone gives you a regular apple, you're gonna go for the golden one. It's easily accessible and it gives you a lot of dopamine, which is what people want. Everyone is consistently searching for dopamine. And this newer generation doesn't want to live like a slave. They don't want to live suffering. They don't want to live in a boring life. They want to break free. And this new generation, they have a lot of them have big goals. They have dreams. They don't want to go into a job they hate. They don't want to follow a system they hate. This generation is smarter, and in somewhat of a manner, they know that they're being controlled. And Gen Z and Gen Alpha just don't want that. They want to break free, but don't know how to. So they escape into social media, into the virtual world as a way of redeeming themselves or making themselves feel happy and joy. But a few individuals know that the internet isn't always a curse. In fact, most of the time, it's more of a blessing than anything. And these few understand that we are the creators. We take control of our own life. We build our own life. We build our own empires, our own worlds. No one else is the author that holds the pen to your life. You are the author. You are the creator. Well, what do people want exactly? People want to feel connected. Notice where content with people tend to be more loved than anything with those obvious cheap AI voiceovers. That's because people feel connection. They feel that human bond. And what people want the most is to feel good about themselves. They genuinely just want to feel good. They want to feel free and happy. The best way to gain these two traits is to build a community where like-minded people who share interests can bond, help each other grow, speak about what they like, push each other into moving ahead in life, doing something other than scrolling or trying to appease someone else, and wondering why their life isn't as good as the celebrities on social media. It can be a place where people motivate each other to becoming who they want to be, into becoming and into making their life into something they've always dreamed of. And this is even better when paired with games. Community brings belonging and connection, while games, the quests, the missions, the process of doing something. Another fact about the human mind is that when someone spends more time, when someone puts more effort into gaining something, let's say if a 17-year-old or 16-year-old just gets a computer, they're gonna be like, okay, I got a computer. They're gonna be reckless with that computer because, well, they didn't work for it. But when you make someone work for getting a new computer by making money off time while slowly growing their bank account and then buying a computer, it brings more connection to it. Rather than something that's given to a person easily, you feel more connected when you earn or work for something. Because people get that emotion or feeling that, oh, I've spent so much time, so much good memories, so much experiences trying to achieve this one thing, trying to get a computer. And they will treasure it and honor it more for their life. This logic applies to games. You don't just get a very rare item easily with just one swipe. Usually you have to go through a bunch of fights for it. You have to solve a lot of puzzles to get an extreme rare item which you can show off. When games are paired with community, it can be even more powerful. People get the connection feel and the enjoyment feel good factor with games. This is why some people are addicted to playing video games even at old age. I even see some 30-plus-year-olds still playing video games and still hooked on it. Always waiting for the new update. Always hoping that their childhood game will come back to life somehow. Well, now, as a creator, it's time to create. It's time to explore more about this world. And it's time to open your third eye. Now, this is the end of the video. See you guys in the next one.